Let's try Robin, July 21st.
I'm hearing split personality. That's what I had, split personality, which allowed me to survive. Dual personalities. I also hear, I'm seeing personalities around him, many different personalities. And as he got older, they began to leave or merge. They merged.
Emerged or merged?
The personalities began to, it's almost as though his body absorbed them. I'm trying to make sense of this. His body, they merged into Robin, who Robin is. And I'm seeing what appears to be around 10 in the beginning, and now I'm seeing as he got older 5, he got older 2, and when all personalities are healed and became Robin, Robin realized he was all these personalities. I feel a depression, a loneliness, a sense of I've lost who I thought I was, a very strong feeling of loneliness, not that of the typical person that has no one around them, a different type of loneliness. The collective consciousness of Robin now has been made whole. I get the energy of that as an overseer. I'm being told that once he crossed over, he realized what appeared to be his multiple personalities were personalities from past lives that the mind could not handle. I'm seeing him laugh. He smiles. He says, "We are one." He also shares with me that you had a connection to him in a past life. He's helping you with the side of the book that needs to be looked at through different eyes. A different aspect, if you will. He's saying, you can't take life serious. No one gets out alive. Ha ha ha. He's asking you to have a lighter view of life.
He says, I need to have a lighter view?
He says, make sure you don't lose that. Use that, he says, use that. Yeah. He's saying that his very essence on this planet was to show others that life can be viewed from different roles and views and characters, and different views are needed. Different views are needed. He does tell me that he did use alcohol as a crutch, and it ended up being part of his demise. It blinded him from many things he didn't deal with. She feels the different energy.
Oh.
It's okay.
You guys, what's the matter with you? You got food? You got water?
She started it when we started tapping in with him.
Oh, yeah?
She felt the different energy come in.
Don't you guys want to go outside for a while?
Go on. He's throwing his hands like, I'm giving you a gift. He says to me that his personalities allowed him to escape reality. And once the personalities begin to heal, he felt their absence and went into a deep depression.
Wow. It's interesting.
Yeah.
So there's the word out is that, Robin, you had some kind of a condition towards the end that, I don't know what it's called. I don't remember what it was called, but some kind of condition that is used as the explanation for your depression.
He's saying to me, we all have a condition.
I like that.
But no, the explanation of the depression was the merging and healing of the other personalities. I felt alone.
Okay. About your other personalities.
Yeah.
And it's just because you had them there all along?
Yes.
But that was a healing?
Yes.
So that's interesting that you would feel alone in a healing.
He's showing me how he did not know what to do with himself. He says, I felt alone in a room with thousands. I just felt alone.
Okay. Because you'd always had those companions?
Yes. He's given me a scenario that I'm going to try to put into words. He says to me, these characters, these personalities, I was able to use during stressful times. I would ask myself, how would that character handle that? Or how would this character handle that? And when I no longer felt their presence, I was unable to make decisions. on my own.
So was this a conscious thing that you consciously were aware that these characters had disappeared?
Yes.
Wow. And what caused the characters then to heal? Was there some impetus that caused that, or was that just by the nature of, I guess, what we would call time?
It was time. The universe, God, healed this. Look at it as a much needed maturity.
Journey?
Maturity.
Oh, maturity. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was time.
Okay. And why did you start out that way with these different characters and these different personalities that you were working with?
These came about during my childhood. Looking back, I see the child that was afraid of making the wrong decision. I understood that if I played the role of the comedian, for example, I did not have to be taken seriously. And more came about as time went.
So essentially, that was a necessary precursor for you to become the comedian you were.
Yes.
So was that set up ahead of time, I assume?
Yes.
And so it was always intended that you would get in the public eye as a comedian.
Yes.
Why?
What a better way to reach thousands with a new perspective.
True.
And it also helped me to help others to escape through laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Also became the vision of, if he can, so can I.
So essentially, you took on a condition that would allow you to reach thousands, but ultimately would result in your demise.
Yes, but there is no demise.
Yeah.
When the journey's over, you return.
And your journey was over.
Yes.
And so it helped you return.
Yes.
And is that example meant to help others as well when it's not their time to return?
Yes.
So we seem to be in a time, I think of you, I think of Eric Medhus, when there's quite a new consciousness about suicide.
Absolutely.
And it's no longer, well, it is still, but the new consciousness seems to be not to consider it as a shameful thing.
It once had the energy of black darkness, unforgiving, lost forever. We now understand that many are assisted at this time to return. It is encouraged not to, but nevertheless there are many souls that are allowed to return. The energy in the world is heavy. It's no longer considered the unforgivable act. It is understood. Yes.
Now I know Eric has said, Grimmett has said that it is, at least I've read that he said that it, it doesn't matter what door you exit through.
Sure.
You come to the same place.
Many forget that Samson used that door as well from the Bible. God helped him to commit suicide, but many forget this.
Well, I didn't know that story. How did he commit suicide?
Samson was betrayed by Delilah, and his hair was in his strength. His strength was in his hair. She tricked him and cut his hair. The Philistines were able at that time to blind him by basically removing his eyes. They did horrible things to Samson, and Samson, being the giant that he was, made his way to a temple of sorts, wrapped his arms around the pillars as the Philistines were trying to finish him. He called upon God and said, God, give me my strength one last time, that I may take them with me. At that point, God renewed his strength. He pulled the pillars in, and the heavy roof fell in and took Samson and the Philistines. So God assisted in Samson's suicide.
Wow. So he took a whole crew with him.
He did.
So if there is apparently, I don't know, some kind of a intervening agency that says, okay, you can come or you can't, apparently from what you're saying, is that true?
Yes.
And how is that decision made?
It's made for the highest good of the individual at the time. Just as many have near-death experiences and they are advised to return, that the journey was not complete, the same energy will be with the one at the time of the suicide or thoughts of. And many have been deterred at the last moment, while many are allowed to complete the journey.
So for someone who is contemplating suicide, or knows someone who is, for instance, a parent of a child, a teenager that's suicidal, if I were the parent of a teenager, a girl, for instance, that is suicidal, would I be able to say she won't be allowed to come unless it's her time, or she will, if she goes, it's her time? Can I have that kind of certainty?
Yes, but there is an awakening of those around the one at the time of suicide, and urgency of they need help. Let me assist if it's needed at the time. Many things come into play with the suicide. If the soul has reached the end of the journey and can no longer benefit from being in this dimension of life, then they are allowed to return. If much is still needed for the journey, actions are usually needed by those around and from those on the other side as well to help this individual.
So for the parents, say, someone who suicides, can they take comfort in the idea that the journey was just over for that child?
Yes. And understand that the individual would have suffered greatly by staying in this dimension.
Okay, and nobody wants that, I assume.
No.
And the same could be said of you, that you would have suffered greatly had you remained in this dimension.
Yes.
Okay. I have a question now about, I know I hear from a lot of people, or run into a lot of people that indicate that they communicate with you presently or in the afterlife, and you have a very distinct personality. Do souls keep their personalities in after they pass?
Yes. You keep your personality with the higher awareness that can only be connected to you when you leave the physical body.
Okay, so you're still going to be a funny guy.
Always.
Good.
And he says to me, "What more do you need? What more do you want?" He uses his hands.
I totally agree with you.
Yes.
I kind of like the funny side of life too.
Yes.
Although I'm not nearly as candid.
He shows me how honored and he feels blessed that he was able to play the role of male, female. He keeps saying Russian. What? I'm not familiar with Robin Williams and Russian. Was his lifetime connected to Russia? Was his lineage connected to Russia?
I don't know.
He's bringing up something, unless he played a Russian. I'm not
I'm
sure.
trying to think of his roles and if he ever played a Russian.
Okay, he's bringing up that energy, and he's dancing, also doing this, and I don't know what that means.
I know. You're dancing like that, like the, what do they call that dance where you crouch down?
Yeah.
Okay, what do they call that dance?
He's got on big pants, balloon pants.
Yeah.
He's going dun dun dun, and I'm not sure what that means.
Well, I know the dance. I just can't think of what they call it. So I'm not sure. Was that a role you played?
He's being silly. He's telling me, again, how you can't take life serious, and he's just being silly doing it.
Okay, all right. I'll buy silly. So, Robin, when did you and I share life?
Okay, now he's doing this craziness. I'm seeing a Native American with the feather in the hair, and he says many moons ago. So he doesn't want to be serious with me. He's saying many moons ago.
All right. So it seemed like we had a lifetime in the 30s, but that's not true.
Oh yeah, He's showing me the two children.
So if that was true, then we would have had to have also come out pretty early to make it back in here in the 50s.
He's letting me know that these two children did not survive childhood.
Okay.
So I'm seeing a city setting, but inside of the city setting, I know this sounds strange, but I'm seeing an area where horses were still kept. A fire. He's showing me a fire.
Okay. So we perished in a fire?
I think so. Or I would not have saw that.
Okay. What country was that?
I'm wondering if that was Russia.
I don't know. I think you said one of these drawings was of somebody who perished in a fire. It was a little boy.
Okay. So we may be looking at Robin.
It was pretty small. There's one right here. Does that have anything to do with it?
Yeah.
Who is that?
I got chills all over. He's talking about him.
Is that you, Robin?
He's given me the feel that that was him, or that was one of you, the family. He's making a strong connection to that.
Okay, so one of the family members.
Yeah.
There were other children?
Yeah.
Okay. How many died?
He's throwing his hands up. It makes me feel like he's not sure, or I'm not picking it up correctly.
Okay. And what would be learned from that? Or what would be the purpose of children perishing in a fire?
He says to me, it was laid out, this sounds odd. He's giving me an illusion of balls down to different sizes of marbles, golf balls. And he's telling me, look at the lives like this. In this lifetime, I will only have to experience a short amount here, but I'll come back. He's just giving me examples.
Okay. So it's just all fun. Some lives are short and some are long.
There was a female that felt responsible for not getting the children out. So I think the children's existence actually came in for her journey more than theirs.
Okay. And that female survived?
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. So Robin, since we have you here, is there anything that you would particularly like to share for anybody who might read this?
He says again, don't take life serious.
Okay.
Just don't take life serious. He's saying that my very existence showed happiness, joking, laughter, not taking life serious. That was my purpose in this lifetime. He's saying, please don't take life serious. Life is hard on your best day. And try to find the sunshine, try to find the joy and the innocence and the laughter with everything. Just don't take it serious.
But is it okay to take it serious if you just like to kind of work the puzzle?
He says momentarily. Momentarily.
I had another question. God, what was it now? Oh, you said another set of eyes, sort of for the book. So tell me now any feedback.
The explanation I just gave, the insight of laughter, laughing your way out of seeing life through different eyes, not so serious. We've loved many times. We've loved many people. There's been many circumstances. If you can laugh your way through the most serious of all these, you will survive. When the laughter stops, you stop.
Well, that's kind of interesting because that tends to be kind of my writing style. Ordinarily would be to maybe a little black humor, but to poke fun at life. And this book has not been going that way. But I thought it was because I do get to make. I thought it was because I do tend to get a little too caustic with the humor.
The humor is one of life's gifts. Remember, when you lose that, you lose who you are.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting point of view, and I really appreciate it. I want to thank you, Robin, for coming in and showing up.
He's dancing again.
All right, well, maybe we can join you. I'd probably follow my butt, though.
Me too.